now going to talk about chord. Excuse me. Wait, hold on. Hold down. All right. I'm going to talk about invert. Okay, invert. Definition invert. Put upside down. Or opposite direction. Order. Or arrangement. Turn around. About, turn around, and about, whatever. Okay. I am going to say it's going to be inverting letter chords. Inverting letter chords. Instead of saying inverting chord letters, I'm going to invert that and say inverting letter chords. Okay. When you have a 3-note chord, and the bottom note is in your thumb, what if you took that bottom and you put it on the top? You flipped it from the bottom to the top. You inverted it. It was inverted. Opposite direction, or not opposite direction in that case, it was upside down. It took whatever the bottom note is, and I put it on the top. The bottom note in my, first, second, and third fingers in my right hand, and then I take that bottom note and I'm gonna put it on the top. I inverted it. Now watch. I'm using my left hand to illustrate this, how I go from the bottom to the top. But really what I have to do is I have to move my whole hand to make that picture of that bottom to the top new inversion of a chord, of a letter chord. It's all letters anyways. This happens to be the A chord as a letter, and it's also made up of 3 letters, A, C sharp, and E. So it's all letter chords to me. Ding. Okay, well anyways, so invert to taking the bottom, putting the top. So here I have a letter chord right there. All right, so that's great, right? Right. Now, if I invert it again, yes, I can still invert it again because I have 3 possible letters. So I have 3 possible positions. The first, the second, and now the third, which is taking the bottom, whatever existing in my thumb now, and flipping it to the top. And I get a new picture. Remember, I'm using my left hand just as a demonstration to do it. But I have to finger it with my right hand. So I have to learn how to play 1, 2, 3 fingers like this, 1, 2, 3 fingers like this, 1, 2, 3 fingers like this. Well, you're saying, when you did that second position, that kind of looked awkward. Well, that's a little awkward, but at least you can practice that way and do it, or any of them. See, look how I'm stretching. I am stretching a little between my second and third. I could go to my second and fourth finger. I know this. I am talking quick. I know this. But the point is whatever I am taking, and if I'm flip-flopping and taking it from, I can go from the top to the bottom. From the top to the bottom. To the top to the bottom. I can go down. And I'll have to learn how to hop with my thumb. I'm sorry, from the top to the bottom. I have to learn to hop with my thumb. Look at that. In either direction, up or down, I'm going to be inverting letter chords. Now, here's the cool thing. In the left hand, well, as I was stating before, I can do this. Wait. I was saying that when you look at fractions, they have a line. Let's see if I can get this right. They have a line that is in between the top, which is the chord, and the bottom, which is the bass, left hand. So what I also noticed is sometimes, like out of those 3 letters we were talking about, one of the letters can be different, as in this example here. This one says A with a C sharp. That is interesting because there is a C sharp in an A chord. There is a C sharp in an A chord. That is cool, but it's still fractioned. Why? Because the bass player is supposed to play the bottom part. An inversion can occur by just changing the bass note. What does this mean? No, wait a minute. Here, this is interesting. That means you could keep the right hand dong 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 the same, and the left hand would move dong 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 to the second inversion, which whatever you're deciding, whatever chord. But in this case, the middle note C sharp or the top note E, but keeping the top the same. Like this. So it would look like this. It would look like this. A with a C sharp, right? A with a C sharp. Look at this. All right. Anyway, now watch this. Kept the same top. Oh, isn't that beautiful sounding? Now watch me do it one more time to the other letter. And now these are inversions. That is written then with an A with a C sharp, like you just saw, an A with an E, A on the top with a slash, fractioning it to an E. And that is the cool. It happens anywhere you're doing. Isn't that beautiful? How that sounds cool? If you know what the middle note fraction is automatically, instead of playing just the same in both, it'd be cool if you automatically knew in your left hand that you're gonna fraction it every time. I know it's here, I know it's B, I know it's A, I know it's G sharp, because in an E chord there's a G sharp. Remember that third and then that minor third. Making up the chords, making the first, third, and fifth house of those major streets. Isn't that cool? And you know, it sounds really cool, and you're like, oh, this is really cool, yeah, very cool. What if you made it four note chords, still three letters. Anyways, so the first is E, and the eighth is E. The octave. The octave. Oh wait. The octave. The octave. The octave of E. The octave of E. The octave of E. The octave of E. The 1 and the 8 are the same letter. So I'm saying it's a 3-letter chord. Here talking letter chords instead of chord letters. Inverting letter chords, we're saying, because they're made up of letters, and they even are a letter. These letter chords are great if you put an octave around them. Octave, 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 octave. Always octaving. Octave, 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 octave. 1 and 4, I like, except when you're playing other notes in between in the right hand guitar part, you're going to add the 5th. Because those other notes in between are going to be a feel, like a grip feel on that. What does it look like? What does it feel like is more important. Well, no, what does it look like is just as important. 50-50. All right? Remember, I'm leaning only in my thumbs here. All right, here, go. Now look at this cool. Now I'm going to add the left hand. Same as it. Sounds really great. But the cool thing, I got 4-note chords. 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 letters. Because this A is the same as this A. This G is the same as this G. This G. So there's F, A, C, F. Wait, ding. Okay, so these 4-letter 3-note chords are surrounded by an octave. And in this case, I'm only playing letters to demonstrate. Because I think it's great to practice letter, 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 letter. Anyways, here. So in between, I'm going to find 2 letters, and I'm going to be playing my first and second finger. And then in my left hand, I'm going to find the same letter my thumb of my right hand is playing, and I'm going to play it. Except in my right hand, in my left hand down here, my fingering is not going to be 1 and 5, it's going to be 1 and 4. I'm going to be using my first and my fourth finger rather than my first and my fifth finger, because I think that's the waist down here of strength. Your fourth finger is so strong, and that little angle, that duck, look, ducky, onto the keyboard, when it allows you, whether you're on a sharp or on a, and you will have to go on sharp because you're a bass player and you get to go everywhere now. You are going everywhere down here. You're a bass player in the left hand. You are a bass player. You're the bass player. You are completely separate than the right hand guitar part. You are the bass player. And you're down there and you're playing, you get to go everywhere now. Why, we're restricting a little bit in the guitar part by saying our thumb is the leader and it only leads on letters. In the left hand, we have to go into sharp because sometimes the middle note of the the middle letter of the letter chord of the 4-note letter chord, 4-note 3-letter chord, 4-note 3-letter chord, instead of playing in the same, play the third or the middle of your first and second and third fingers. And that go, wait. I'm only going by them, only going by the middle of my, I'm only going by, actually it happens to be on my second finger of my right hand. That's another way to look at it. But sometimes I have to go up on the sharp in my left hand. There's no restriction in my left hand. My left hand bass is allowed to go anywhere chromatic, neighbor-wise. It gets to go anywhere because it's now the official bass player. It's always there bassing out in octave. The chord's always in the guitar part. And you start seeing in the piano huge chord blocks. These huge chord blocks or letter chords that appear because you're looking at all the possible ways those letter combinations, 3-letter, 4-note, can be applied. I think that's so great.